Hi, this is Paul Hubbard from aBlogtoWatch, and this is the quick video review of the LUM-TEC 300M 40 in the 40mm size. Let's take a quick look. So this model is LUM-TEC's 300mm diver, 300M diver, 300 meters. It comes in two sizes, 40 and 45mm. I asked for the 40mm size, as that is my favorite for dive watches, and this is it. Nice and chunky, about 15mm thick, a little bit more than I like, but many people like that bolder size. Sapphire crystal and bezel, as you can see here from the look at the difference in reflection. The crystal is anti-reflective coated, the bezel isn't. Both should be durable and scratch resistant. Bezel is easy to grip, has this nice coin edge, 60 click, loomed. A little bit of play, no slip, not bad, but not quite as precise as some designs. So the movement is one of the interesting things to me on this watch. It is a Seiko NH35, which I believe is the 4R35. LUM-TEC takes it and adjusts it in 6 positions and guarantees the accuracy for the life of the watch, which really for me says a great deal about the quality and how well it should run. Seiko is famous for durable movements. This one should take a great deal of abuse and last a very long time. One question I had when I was looking at the specs is whether you can tell if it's a middle beat movement, because this is 21.6, which is 6 updates per second as opposed to 8, and things like an ETA 2824. So take a look at how the second hand is sweeping there. You really can't tell. For comparison's sake, this is the Chanel J12. It runs with, I believe, a 2892, which is a 28.8 movement. Now if you watch the movement of the second hand there, it's not really obvious, which is interesting. Some 21.6 movements, like the 7S26 that I've had in a few watches, the second hand is definitely jerkier than this. So I'm not sure what Seiko did. Maybe there's just better machining on the gearing, but there's definitely less play in how the second hand moves. That's a good thing. In addition to the unusual and very good movement, we have the Luminosity one expects from LUM-TEC, which is spectacular. And in this case, the other thing that is phenomenal is this bracelet. It looks like your fairly standard issue dive bracelet. If you notice, the links are nicely rounded, kind of like some of the Omega designs, which makes it more comfortable. It's brushed for a nice low profile thing. But notice there's 2 buttons on the clasp. The first one does what you'd expect. Nicely machined flip lock. Definite click. The second 2, which you have to push in unison. Aha! Look at that. On the wrist size adjustment. Awesome. It also has a couple of micro adjustments here you can do. So on a warm day, like we're having right now, you simply slide that, and as your wrist gets larger from the heat, so does your watch band. It's a little tricky because you have to grab both sides at once, but it'll slide under its own weight, and you can adjust it both ways without ever taking the watch off your wrist. That is awesome. I first saw this on the Bosch, I believe, and I'm really glad to see other brands have been able to source these as well. Rolex has its own version of this, as do some other brands, and as did my Seiko Marine Master. I really hope that other brands are able to come up with similar things, because your wrist does change size during the course of the day, and if you want a watch that sits comfortably, it needs to be able to adjust its size as well, because steel doesn't have any yield to it. I like to wear mine above this, was it the ulnar bone on your wrist? And so this is a really good thing. I'm glad that LUM-TEC has done so. So the crown design on this is interesting. It's, your basic horned crowns here. The crown's a little small though for my taste. It kind of hides there on the side. You got the nice LUM-TEC signing. Ah yes, hand winding. You can tell this has the Seiko magic lever from the feel of it. Nice and smooth. But you have hacking and hand winding, which is good. And then good solid crown threads. Screws down smoothly. LUM-TEC has good quality control. I've been impressed in the past. Solid end links on the bracelet. Nice screw down case back with a little bit of etching and engraving. Now, this is not. It's a little bit more expensive than some of the catalog divers from Hong Kong, which I'm very fond of. But again, it's a little bit better made. You have the brushed finish, but then you have accents like this little stripe of finishing there. You have the sapphire bezel, the anti-reflective coatings, the multi-layer lume. Some of those you can get from some of the Hong Kong makers, some you can't. The thing that I really appreciate that I haven't seen yet coming out of China is the adjusted in 6 positions movement. That is definitely something that you normally see on the very high end of the Swiss with chronometer and higher rated watches, so think Rolex or better. This one has kept exceptional time, running about -2 seconds a day, which is phenomenal, especially for a low-end Seiko movement. I have actually stopped buying low-end Seikos because the lack of accuracy or regulation just bugs me, and I've actually had watchmakers try and regulate a 7S26 and give up on me because, you know, the positional accuracy just wasn't there. So the fact that this one does have excellent positional accuracy, it's been reliable whether on the wrist, on the watch winder, or just sitting on a desk. This is a really good movement, and as regulated by LUM-TEC, it's phenomenal movement. So other things I like about this one. If you look, there's just a little bit of red on the dial. Tip of the second hand, the LUM-TEC branding, which is very dark. And you can just kind of see it there as the light plays on it, and then this depth rating there. But if you look at it a little bit there, it vanishes. It actually is not at all a fancy looking watch. You know, this is utilitarian, it's well made, it's a good value. And I happen to like the design. Not everyone will. LUM-TEC has their own design language, as you can see with things like these U or V-shaped markers and then the single 12. It's kind of their own way of doing things. It's a little bit thick, and with the square sides, it's not exactly shirt cuff friendly. But if you take the bracelet off, it comes with a nice rubber strap as well. And it does pretty well on canvas, takes it down to around 110 grams, and then it actually becomes a reasonable summer watch. Please read the rest of the review for details, and I hope that you like it. Thank you.